I'm T.A. Snyder. I am the author of the Antediluvian Saga. This is just a little bit about the book. Book one, When Order Replaced the Light. Book two's already been written. It's at the publisher. Book three is about halfway, a little over being complete. And the Antediluvian Saga is basically a biblical fantasy. It's a fictional book where it's based on actually some like real people. It's based out of the Bible. So nothing we do goes against the Bible. Everything I wanted it to be just something, a fantasy that fills in the blank of what's not talked about in the Bible. Everything happens pre-flood, so pre-Genesis 6:4, and it's based on kind of a few things that are mentioned, but not taken that seriously or not investigated, or at least not um, the information isn't divulged in the Bible. So we're just filling in the blanks. That's what I'm doing. And this idea came about over a decade ago. It was one of those things I wanted to write the book. I started to outline the characters and the plot in book one and how the series was going to go. And I am not a writer by trade. I enjoy writing. I enjoy reading. But it is one of those things where getting started on a book, I didn't know how to do it. And I started a few times and just never went through with it. And life gets busy. I'm a father of four. I work a lot. I'm a Christian, so this is what the Christian fantasy comes in. I serve a lot at my church, and I'm heavily involved in youth ministries and student ministries at our church. So most of my time is done with, having four kids, sports, school, and work besides church. So time got away from me. However, my daughter, the eldest, she started getting really into books. In fact, she reads all the time. And it was one of those things that'd be, it'd be neat if she read one of my books, or if so. It got me back into, I've wanted to write this for a while. Once I got through the first about 5 chapters this time writing it, it kind of wrote itself. I got addicted to writing. I would write every morning. I have I don't know if it's twilight or what. I guess it's not twilight, but it's in the morning when I wake up at 4 a.m. where I read my Bible for 45 minutes to an hour, and then I start writing, and I write for about an hour before I get into my workouts, and then down the road into work and everything else. So I realized I had some time in the mornings for sure, and that I could possibly have some times in the evening as well. So that's what started that. The Antediluvian Saga is basically, we start out with When Order Replaced the Light. It is about Kenan. Kenan is fourth line of Adam. So Adam was the first man. And then you go Seth, and Seth was the one that carried on the lineage. Obviously, Abel was the younger son of Cain. Cain killed Abel, and then you ended up with Seth. They had many other children. Many other children is what it says in the Bible. However, Seth is what we focus on. Down from Seth is Enosh. Enosh is right after Seth. Seth had many kids as well, but Enosh is right after. And then it goes into Kenan. Okay. Spoiler alert, down the road, we get into the other lines, not just Enosh and Seth, Seth, Enosh, and Kenan. There'll be Mahalalel, who's Kenan's son, and he'll have a pretty big role. But right now in book one, Kenan is the guy that we're focusing on. What happens is during this time, we're not too far away from the fall of man. It doesn't specifically say, but what happens is the fallen angels came down. They mated with the women, and they produced the Nephilim. And Nephilim are giants, but also Some of the Nephilim, the more powerful ones, end up being rulers of the world. And they're for the most part, the antagonists of the stories. And those rulers of the world, the Men of Renown is what they're known as, were the hybrids of fallen angels and women. They, in my book, are the mythological gods that we talk about. So Zeus, Odin, Enlil, Uriel, Ra, all of them were the Men of Renown in my book. And it just gives a new thought that, hey, maybe all these mythological gods were actually powerful beings back in the days before the flood. And part of me believes that that's a possibility and that this could be just a real thing. However, it's based on my interpretation of what's left silent in the Bible, and it's their adventures. So book 1 is all about Kenan. He has a giant that's a protector that doesn't really have any special abilities besides being a giant, and he's a Nephilim, and his name is Anev, and all he is a protector, and he's a protector and has been a protector of the faith,